Alright, hello everybody, what's happening? Welcome back to another video. Sorry I wasn't able to get on the 2 p.m. basically scheduled stream. The reason that is because of work, and so I wasn't able to make it, so sorry about that. And like I said, I would have liked to be on, but it is what it is. I had to work, gotta make my money somehow, gotta pay the bills, so there you have it. But basically live streams do take place at 7:30 p.m. on Central Standard Times during the weekdays, 2 p.m. on the weekends. And like it says, unless otherwise specified, like today, where I just couldn't make it. So usually that's when I go live. To all the newcomers, I just want to let you guys know, welcome to the channel, of course, and that's when the live streams do take place. Sometimes I won't be able to make it. That's just how it is, I guess. It's life, I guess. So, anyways, I'm not expecting too many people will be on, but I'll try to get. Hopefully, we can get a few people on at least. So that way, we can talk about this kind of. The situation at Madrid and what's going on here. So, of course, the first piece of news and probably the last piece of news that I'm going to be talking about is Bruno Fernandes. So, this is a new. I mean, I don't know where this came from actually, because Manchester United have been, touted to sign this guy, and I mean, this is the thing with Manchester United. It just takes so long to complete a deal, and you got Real Madrid who made a deal with Rodriguez in just 20 minutes. So I wouldn't be surprised if we would get someone like Bruno Fernandes. What do you guys think of this? Actually, if we sign Van de Beek and Bruno Fernandes, would you guys rather see these two at the club? Would you guys rather see Paul Pogba? Let me know in the comments, of course. Because to me, I think a better situation for us at the moment is to have two midfielders instead of a guy like Paul Pogba. I think two midfielders would certainly help bolster the squad a lot more than just Paul Pogba. And the reason I say that is because although Paul Pogba is a very good player, we're bereft of depth in the midfield positions. And I think having two midfielders would help, get the best out of everyone, and including Kroos and Modric, who have to fight for their positions essentially. So Bruno Fernandes could be a good, I would say, a good player to have in the team. And there are some stats at the bottom below, and I mean it's really good stuff. When you look at his stats, I mean it's very, very good. I had to look at some of his stuff. I think the only thing that I would say about Bruno Fernandes is the passing percentage, especially for a midfielder. You'd expect a little bit more. But if he does come to Real Madrid, then I wouldn't surprise if that goes up a little bit. But 20 goals and 13 assists in the Portuguese league in 33 appearances. You're talking about one contribution in every game for I would say who's he playing for? For Sporting Lisbon. So he's a very good player. Is he Real Madrid caliber? I mean, with those kinds of stats, definitely. I would say the only one that's a little bit worrying maybe the passing stat. But other than that, I mean. You look at some of the stuff, 3.6 shots per game, 1.7 tackles per game, 1.2 dribbles per game. He's very good. And I've seen some of his stuff, and he looks good, and he takes shots outside of the box. So I think this could potentially be a good signing for us. If we get Van de Beek and Bruno Fernandes, I wouldn't be mad for a second. I think that could be better than Paul Pogba, if anything. I know that Paul Pogba is, like I said, he's a good player. I just question whether he can really take this Real Madrid team to the next level, to the level where I guess we can win trophies and things like that, And I think Paul Pogba could do it. It's just there are a few things missing in that, and what I mean in that is that we need more than just Paul Pogba. He can't take on the responsibilities. We saw this at Manchester United, where if he's given all the tasks, if he's giving the full responsibility to carry the team essentially, he can't do it. He can't do it. And for me, Paul Pogba wouldn't be able to do that, wouldn't be able to replicate that at Madrid. So there you have it for that. I think that's pretty much the news about Bruno Fernandes. Let me know, of course, what you guys think of this Bruno Fernandes situation. Would you guys rather see Bruno Fernandes and Van de Beek in the midfield positions, or would you rather see Paul Pogba maybe alongside Toni Kroos and Casemiro or something along those lines? So there you have it for that. Bruno Fernandes, official interest. Hopefully we could see him in a Madrid shirt. Maybe a couple of other things that I wanted to say is that George Mendes has contacted Real Madrid about this, or Real Madrid have contacted George Mendes about this, and then Bruno Fernandes has been said to be keen on the move. Whether this is true or not, I don't know. It's always tough with so many reports out there. But there you have it. I mean, especially at 70 million euros, Bruno Fernandes he's not too much money, especially considering the market today. You're talking about a guy who literally one contribution per game, 20 goals and 13 assists in 33 appearances. These are very, very good stats. And in all competitions, it's almost a contribution per game as well. So certainly very good from Bruno Fernandes. And I would say, yeah, why not? I think we should do this. I think, like I said, he would consolidate our midfield. So there you have it for that. I think that's the thing about Bruno Fernandes. IA says they're too similar. Yeah, I don't know, because I just haven't watched. I would say I haven't watched Van de Beek, and I haven't watched Bruno Fernandes all that much, so I really don't know. But if you're saying they're too similar, then maybe we should look at someone else. Real Madrid fan says, I don't think if Bruno or Van de Beek comes to Real Madrid that they take their place from Modric or Cruz or Casemiro. I don't think so either. To some extent, Modric. I think one of those two players could essentially play a little bit of games here and there. Split the games with Modric, because Modric can't do it all fully. Yeah, there you have that. Real Madrid fan says, also we have so many players in mid, Isco and James. Well, James, I don't think he's going to stay, and if he does stay, I don't think he'll play. We still have too many players in the squad, which I'm going to get to that in a bit. Isco. Yeah, Isco's going to stay. So, yeah, I guess that is a lot of players in midfield. But I just feel at the moment we're lacking in certain areas, especially like the CDM position, center mid position. You have Modric and Cruz. You have Isco. Isco's more of a cam, So Van de Beek would be a center mid, more of a center midfielder, more of a typical center midfielder. Bruno Fernandes, I guess he is an attacking midfielder. But James, for me, he's not going to stay. He's not going to stay. So we have essentially Isco who can do the cam position. So maybe we need one more. Let's see. Did I want to talk about something else on here? I think we'll leave it at that for the Bruno Fernandes deal. But I did want to pull up the screen here, maybe to see how we can line up if Bruno Fernandes does decide to come into the team. I put Cruz as a CDM. I don't know why, but so there you go. I'm going to move out of the way here. So this is maybe how we could line up if we do go with the 4-3-3. Maybe this is how we can line up if Bruno Fernandes were to come into the club. Fernandes as a cam, then you have Cruz and Casemiro kind of. I would say Casemiro is more the CDM, and then Cruz is more the deep lying playmaker. But Fernandes, there you go. He would be acting as a cam. Then you have of course the front three, and then. Yeah, there you go. There you have it. Let me know what you guys think of this, actually. It could work out. I mean, IA says the problem with Van de Beek is that he plays like a second striker at Ajax. So I don't know. He'll be at the center of midfield. Oh, I see. Okay, so if you're telling me he plays more like a cam, then yeah, that wouldn't make sense. I mean, we would already have Isco, Bruno Fernandes, Van de Beek. Yeah, we would need someone a little bit more like I would say like a number 6. Yeah, and that of course that would be Paul Pogba. And if you're telling me all this stuff, then of course I would definitely go with someone like Paul Pogba, because he acts more like a number 6. But yeah, I mean Fernandes as a cam, then Cruz as deep line playmaker, and then Casemiro there. The back four, yeah, I mean this is essentially what I want to see in the back four. Obviously Navas right there. And then for the striker position, yeah, obviously eventually Jovic comes in. For me, maybe in the meantime you could have Mariano, or obviously Benzema pretty much takes that position, but hopefully eventually what I would like to see is Mariano and Jovic fighting for that position. And then on the right, I just couldn't come up with anything on the right. It's just so hard to say on the right, I feel like we're a little bit, we lack a little bit of depth on the right. So I put Brahim and Vini, fighting for that position. And then Kubo probably just staying in Castilla. I would like to see him take on some first team action, but maybe at the moment we have Brahim Diaz, who's a little bit similar to Kubo, so maybe it wouldn't make any sense to have Kubo in the team. And besides, he can still develop. So there you have it for that. Let's see. The next thing I want to talk about is the lack of squad depth, or not the lack of squad depth, but rather we have to see if I can get this right here. There you go. So we have to sell some players, obviously, and I just got this picture from Marca. I mean, was it from Marca, from AS? Yeah. So we have some players that we need to sell. We still have a squad that's a little bit, I would say, how do you say it, bloated squad. So we do have players who are, I don't want to say they're not, well, they are not needed at the club, and some of these players do have to leave because essentially we have too many players. Which players would you like to see depart the club? Let me know in the comments. because it's a tough one. But I think there are some players that potentially should leave the club, whether it's on loan, whether it's a sale. We do have to get rid of some of them, and I'm going to pull up the whiteboard here and try to go. Let's see. So we have Courtois. Obviously, Courtois is going to stay for sure. Kaylor's going to stay for sure. Lunin, I think, should go on loan. So I'm going to X him out. But he should go on loan. We shouldn't sell him, of course. Very good, very promising goalkeeper. We should go on loan. Carvajal should stay. Odriozola, yeah, stay. Ramos is going to stay. Varane is going to stay. Militao's going to stay. Nacho, just because of the squad depth, we'll let him stay. Let's see here. Marcelo's going to stay. Mendy's going to stay. Casemiro's going to stay. Cruz, Modric going to stay. Valverde going to stay. Brahim Diaz. Isco, I know Isco's one up in the air. Actually, let me know what you guys think about Isco. I don't know about the Isco situation. Sometimes I say I vacillate in terms of Isco, and what I mean by that is that sometimes I'll say we should sell him. Sometimes I say we should keep him. I don't know about Isco. It's a difficult one. I'm going to leave him blank. I'm going to leave it blank for right now. Eden Hazard, of course, we just got him. James, we should sell. The reason I say that is because he will never be played with Zidane. He'll never be played with Zidane. Matias says, do you honestly think Bruno will join us even though he's United bound? He's been United bound for a long time now. Very long. Too long, actually. And I don't think Manchester United will get him. I really don't. And the reason I say that is because we've seen this with United. They scout players, and essentially what they do is they keep scouting and they try to find a fee, and essentially what happens is that they don't get the player. And this has happened several times at Manchester United, and I think Bruno Fernandes will be another example of this, where they look at the player. Is it really, can they make it happen? They could, of course, they certainly could make it happen, but I don't think they'll want to make it happen. And we saw this with, I think it was Perisic last year or a couple of years ago, where they were scouting him all summer. You thought he was going to go to Manchester United, and eventually deal didn't break through. And we can get deals here at Real Madrid. We can get deals done very, very quickly. You look at Rodrigo, 20 minutes. You look at Van de Beek. This was done really quickly. Also, yeah. I said what I want to say about Van de Beek is that, yeah, maybe we just heard about it very quickly, but it's still very quick nonetheless. Manchester United, it just takes months and months and months on end before they actually acquire the services of the player. So it takes a very, very long time, and I think if Real Madrid can't take advantage of that, then we certainly can get Bruno Fernandes, especially that Real Madrid is a lot more of an attractive proposition than Manchester United at the moment. You look, why would any player want to go to Manchester United? You look at players like Alexis Sanchez, Romelu Lukaku. You look at maybe who else do I want to say? Anthony Martial. These players, although they're very, very good, they have, I would say, their career hasn't gone in the way they would have liked. You look at, especially Romelu Lukaku, who before joining Manchester United was a top player. Yes, his first touch was lacking, but in terms of goals, there was no question that he was up there in terms of, scoring consistently on a consistent basis. So why would, Bruno Fernandes, why would he want to go there, And I know essentially Manchester United were the first ones kind of interested in him, but with Real Madrid interested, I don't, he will want to come to Real Madrid. I mean, if Real Madrid do make a concrete offer, I don't think he would choose Manchester United over Real Madrid. So I think that's what I have to say, Matthias, and I think that's why Bruno, if we're really in for Bruno Fernandes, he'll want to come to Real Madrid before he joins Manchester United. Matthias says, very good point. Yeah, thanks. That's what I think about it. Of course, it doesn't mean it's true. Maybe Manchester United will be making to look a bid, and maybe he will go to Manchester United. But if Real Madrid are in before him, I think we can get his services. So there you have it for that. Let me X out maybe a couple of other players. Benzema's always a contentious one. I like Benzema, and I will continue backing him. But sometimes, yeah, I know I think we should sell him, but I will continue backing him. I think we should keep him. Bale, I'm going to exit, and the reason I want to say we should sell is because under Zinedine Zidane, it'll never work out. It'll never work out under Zinedine Zidane, and therefore, why would we keep him? He's such a world-class player, and I think he should I think he would be better off going to a different club where he can really maximize his potential, because he's a very, very good player and he's still a world-class player. So that's why I say Gareth Bale should be sold. Vinicius keep, Asensio keep, Rodrigo keep, Jovic keep. Lucas we can keep for squad depth, or especially for that right wing position. Lucas does a very good job as a substitute, so I think we should keep Lucas Vazquez. But if it comes down to a last resort option or something like that, then I would say definitely sell. But for the moment, I'll keep. And Mariano keep. So essentially, what you want to do is Lunin, you want to get him out on loan. James and Bale, you would essentially want to sell. And let's see. IA says Solskjaer just confirmed that he has no doubt that Pogba will stay. Yeah, I think Pogba will stay too. It was only a couple of days ago. It was only a couple of weeks ago where I was talking about Pogba and saying that I was almost sure that this was going to happen. But after looking at the preseason, after looking at our midfield, after looking at how we're bereft of squad depth, I think at the moment we need more depth rather than maybe just one midfielder who absolutely provides a lot of quality. Let's see here. Real Madrid fan says, I think Real Madrid lack in defense more than midfielder. Wow, that's interesting actually. Yeah, we lack, I would say, good defenders. We have numbers, but we lack good defenders. You look at Ramos, who's dwindling down. Varane, who hasn't had a very good season, hasn't looked good in preseason. I hope he'll come good. It's looking a bit worrying. Militao, who's very young, he's still not at the level that I want to see him yet. Or I mean, what am I saying there? What I would say about Militao is that he came from the Portuguese league. It'll take time for him to adapt. If he adapts, I think that's fantastic. We can get him straight away into the team with Rafael Varane. But it's risky. It's risky. And then Nacho is okay. You look at the right back positions, Carvajal, Odriozola, I think we're fine there. Odriozola as a squad player, I like him. Odriozola is fine as a squad player. I don't want to see him first team though. Marcelo and Mendy, that's fine. That'll work out good. So in terms of numbers, I think we're okay. It's just the center back position. It does look a bit precarious, but Ramos, hopefully he can get the job done this year. Varane, he's got to get his form back. Militao is a bit risky, but I hope he can come good for us. And, he'll have to adapt. We have to remember that Militao will have to adapt this season, and it's going to take a little bit of time. Nacho is Nacho, I guess. Real Madrid, Mancia says, will Modric go to Inter? I've heard about those rumors. I don't think he'll go to Inter. I think Modric will stay for another year. It might be next year that maybe he'll go somewhere else. But at the moment, I think Modric will stay. Whether that's being a squad player or that's being first team, I think he'll stay. But we know Zinedine Zidane. He has a propensity of playing his same players over and over and over again. So maybe Modric knows he's going to get some first team football here. Abduli Omar says, what do you think of the Euro rules, EU rules that makes it impossible for Kubo and Rodrigo to play at blancosfantv? Yeah, I know. I've heard about that. And what I want to say about that is that it makes it impossible, he said. What do you think of that makes it impossible? Oh, well, that sucks. Well, if they're going to have to go to Castilla, then it kind of sucks, essentially, and for lack of a better word. But what I would say about that is that maybe it would be good for them to play in the Castilla just to get Real Madrid. I would say what I want to say about that is that they can get maybe a little bit more experience, although it's redundant for Kubo because he's already, for me, Kubo is ready for the first team. Rodrigo, maybe a little bit of time in Castilla could do him some good, but Kubo for me is ready for the first team. But that would suck. That's what I have to say about that. IA says Kubo's not ready. He's too overhyped right now. He had a lot of inaccurate passes and he was way too selfish at times. Good point. Fair point. I have to give you that. He is being overhyped, I have to say. I like him personally, but maybe he's being overhyped. Maybe he's not ready at the moment. He's very young, and Zinedine Zidane did allude to that. He's very young. He has to be given some time, and to throw him into first team action just right away, maybe it wouldn't be the best. It wouldn't be the most astute of choices. It would be maybe not such a great idea. So maybe we just have to take it a bit easy with Kubo. He's a very good player, but it'll take some time. So there you have it with that. Those are the players that I would want to sell. James and Bale, I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. It's just because they wouldn't work well under Zinedine Zidane, and it's just not going to work. It's not going to work, and that's why I want to see these two players sold. And we know their potential is there. We know they're very, very good players, but under Zidane, it would just never work out. Abdullahi Omar says, "Who do you think will come to Real? Bruno, Van de Beek, or Van de Beek only?" Well, if it's Van de Beek only, I wouldn't like that. I would rather see two midfielders. Essentially, what I'd like to see is Bruno and Van de Beek, or just Paul Pogba only. And the reason I say that is because bringing in Van de Beek, yeah, he's a very good player, but will he really improve the midfield, drastically? I would say not really. I would say he will improve the midfield a lot. But he's still a young player. I mean, he's still a young player, and essentially young players do make mistakes. They do, can you rely on them so much? I don't know much about Van de Beek. If he is at that kind of level where he's mature enough to take on such a challenge, then maybe Van de Beek only could be good. But for me, I would say it's a bit risky. I would like to see Van de Beek and Bruno at Real Madrid. Rodrigo says Rodrigo didn't have many crazy moments at preseason, but he didn't lose the ball at all. His pass accuracy was great. That's a good point. That's a good point, actually. And if you provide me with great stats, and I have to say that if that is true, if that is the case, then maybe we should go with someone like Rodrigo. Maybe we should go with someone like Rodrigo, just because he doesn't lose the ball, and if losing the ball, you essentially get possession back to the team, and then that's the last thing you want, so maybe having Rodrigo could be a better idea than having Kubo. And you might make me change my mind, maybe having Rodrigo in the team could be better, because he provides a bit more speed, a bit more acceleration, and if you could play him on the right, then essentially you've solved the problem on the right. You have Hazard on the left-hand side, you have Benzema, Mariano, Jovic in the striker position, and on the right you could have Rodrigo, who essentially could come good for us this season. So we'll have to see for that, I guess. But good point, Thank you. And I think that's all for today. I'm going to end it pretty soon. But yeah, those are the players that I would like to see us sell, just because they don't work well under Zinedine Zidane. And then not because they're not good or anything. They're not good enough for Real Madrid. They don't work well under Zinedine Zidane. And then the other thing is, Bruno Fernandes to Real Madrid. There is interest. Apparently, Real Madrid have talked to George Mendes about the situation. And then Bruno Fernandes might be keen on a move, but we'll have to see. I mean, this is new news. We have to let it develop a little bit. And Matthias says, I think we spent too much on an attacker. Maybe we should have focused on Mbappe more than Hazard. Well, I think we're fine actually especially on the right hand side or on the left hand side. I think we're fine because. You could say what you could say about that is that Mbappe on the right hand side, we should have focused more on the left. Because essentially we were missing someone on the left too. So we were missing basically someone on the left and someone on the right. That's basically what we were missing. So maybe we should have gone after those two positions. Actually, maybe that's what should have happened. But it is what it is. We should have competed on Barca for De Jong. Yeah, I think so. I know I think he'll come good. But Van de Beek's another one, who I would say he hasn't gotten the recognition he deserved, apparently. There's a lot of pundits saying that he hasn't gotten the recognition he deserves, not like De Jong and De Ligt. And then Matthias says we should have maybe Ruben Diaz from Portugal. Yeah, Ruben Diaz, I've heard about him. I don't know much about him either, but I've heard good things from him. Seems very promising, but it is what it is, and hopefully we can add a little bit more and then sell the players that we do need to sell, because we still have a squad that's essentially, we still have some, I would say, some players that we can't, I would say, I don't want to say don't belong at the club, but we have to part ways with. That's what it comes down to. So that's all I have for you guys today. I'm gonna end it right there. I just want to thank you guys so much, and sorry about the convoluted schedule. It's just like I said, I have work and I'm not able to make it sometimes. Tomorrow I will be on same time, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And that's pretty much the time that I go on pretty much every day or every weekend. And then on the weekdays it's 7:30 Central Standard Time. So there you have it. I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Matthias. Thank you, Abdullah Omar. Thank you everyone. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Real Madrid fan. Thank you, IA. And thanks for coming on. And I shall see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So thank you guys so much, and have a good day.